In a society where family bonds are expected to be defined by care and guidance, a disturbing revelation has shaken the core of traditional relationships. A 21-year-old lady, whom we will call Lisa, has confessed that she has been romantically and emotionally attached to her P-man since childhood. This attachment has led her to reject every man who has approached her, unable to find anyone who compares to the man she sees as her ideal partner. Lisa's confession, first made in an anonymous online forum, has sparked heated debates about parental attachment, psychological boundaries, and the complexities of human emotions. Our investigative team set out to understand the depth of her story, speaking with psychologists, family therapists, and even Lisa herself. Lisa's early life. Lisa grew up in a well-to-do household in Lagos, Nigeria, the only daughter of her parents. Her father, Mr. Johnson, works as a manager in a reputable survey company, known for his charisma and generosity. To Lisa, he was her hero, her protector and provider. "My dad has always been my world," Lisa tells our team in an exclusive interview. "He made me feel safe, loved, and understood in a way no one else ever could." Lisa describes how her father would take her on weekend trips, buy her favorite gifts, and be the one she turned to whenever she felt sad or insecure. Her mother, Mrs. Johnson, was a devoted wife but often too busy with work to be as involved in Lisa's daily life. According to Lisa, her admiration for her father deepened during her teenage years. While other girls gushed over celebrities or high school crushes, Lisa found herself measuring every boy against her father. None of them ever matched up. "I used to think it was normal," she admits. "I thought every girl looked up to her dad this way. But over time, I realized my feelings were different. They weren't just admiration, they were romantic." Lisa's emotions took a darker turn as she entered adulthood. Watching her parents share moments of affection, whether it was a simple hug, a laugh at the dinner table, or a romantic gesture, filled her with an overwhelming sense of jealousy. "I would feel this rage inside me," Lisa confesses. "Whenever my dad touched my mum in a loving way, I would feel betrayed, like he was choosing her over me." Lisa recounts moments when she would deliberately interrupt their conversations, sit between them on the couch, or even feign sickness just to get her father's attention. Her jealousy intensified when she turned 18, realizing that she was legally an adult, yet still unable to act on the feelings she harbored. "I hated my mother," Lisa admits. "I saw her as the obstacle between me and my happiness. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't help it. I've rejected so many guys," she says. "Even the ones who were really nice, I just couldn't bring myself to care. They weren't him. They weren't my dad." Lisa explains that she has gone on dates but never felt any chemistry with the men who pursued her. She also admits that she deliberately sabotaged relationships before they could even begin. "I would compare every man to my dad, his voice, his kindness, the way he carries himself. They all fell short," she explains. "I don't even see the point in trying anymore. I told him, 'Dad, no man will ever love me like you do.' He laughed it off, saying, 'That's because I'm your father, sweetheart.' But he didn't know what I really meant. My mom noticed my behavior and called me aside to ask me what was going on with me, but I said nothing. I didn't know my mom was watching me closely, and when I left for work one day, my mom went into my room and opened my diary I left on my reading table. She read my diary and fear consumed her. She reported me to my dad and we reached out to Dr. Evelyn N.W. Osu, a clinical psychologist, to shed light on my condition." Lisa explained. Dr. N.W. Osu explains that what Lisa is experiencing could be linked to Electra complex, a psychological concept proposed by Carl Jung. Similar to Freud's Oedipus complex, which applies to boys and their mothers, the Electra complex suggests that young girls may unconsciously develop deep emotional attachments to their fathers. This typically resolves in childhood as the child recognizes healthy boundaries, Dr. N.W. Osu states. However, in Lisa's case, there seems to be an unresolved attachment due to her father's strong influence and her mother's emotional distance. Dr. N.W. Osu also highlights another possible explanation: emotional enmeshment, a condition where a parent and child develop an overly close relationship, blurring the boundaries between parental love and romantic affection. In cases like Lisa's, the parent might not even realize the effect they're having on the child. The father was simply being a good parent, but Lisa interpreted his actions as something deeper, she explains. In a rare and emotional conversation, Lisa's mother, Mrs. Johnson, admitted that she had sensed something was off for years. I noticed the way she looked at him. The way she would get upset whenever he and I had a moment together, Mrs. Johnson says. At first, I thought she was just a daddy's girl. But over time, it became clear that it was more than that. Mrs. Johnson tried to address the issue subtly, encouraging Lisa to form friendships, pushing her to go on dates, but nothing worked. I love my daughter, but I knew this wasn't healthy, she says. I even spoke to my husband about it, but he dismissed it as a phase. Dr. N.W. Osu, however, strongly encouraged Lisa to seek professional help. If left unaddressed, Lisa may struggle with forming healthy relationships in the future, Dr. N.W. Osu warns. This kind of attachment could lead to long-term emotional damage. Currently, Lisa is taking her therapy seriously. Lisa's story is a complex one, raising difficult questions about emotional boundaries, attachment, and the psychological impact of parental influence. While her feelings are not uncommon in childhood, her inability to separate them in adulthood signals a deeper issue that needs resolution. Lisa's anonymous confession has sparked debates on social media, with some sympathizing with her struggles while others harshly criticize her emotions. Experts urge parents to foster emotional independence in their children, ensuring that while love and affection are freely given, boundaries remain clear. For Lisa, the road to self-discovery will not be easy. Whether she seeks help or continues living with unfulfilled love remains her choice. But as the world watches, one question lingers: can Lisa ever love another man the way she loves her father? Would you like to share your thoughts? Leave a comment below. Note that the stories shared on this platform are based on real-life events, but names, locations, and specific details have been modified to respect the privacy of those involved. Any similarities to actual individuals, living or deceased, are purely coincidental. These narratives are intended to reflect the essence of real experiences rather than provide exact accounts of actual events. Thanks for listening.